Someone walked 250 kilometers through Ice Age terrain for one specific shade of black. Not the nearest black, not the easiest black. That one, specifically. Here's why. 100,000 years before anyone built a pyramid, before the wheel, before a single seed was ever planted on purpose, someone was already grinding rock into powder, mixing it with fat, and storing the result in a shell for later use. That's not a rounding error. That's the oldest known paint-making kit ever discovered, and it's older than almost anything else humans are famous for inventing. Here's the strange part, though. Fire keeps you warm. Water keeps you alive. Paint does neither. So why would anyone, tens of thousands of years before farming existed, spend real time and effort making something that serves no survival purpose at all? That question is what this video is actually about, and the full answer doesn't show up until the very end. In a cave on South Africa's southern coast, archaeologists found two shells, each coated inside with a thick layer of dried red paste. Sitting next to them, stones worn smooth from grinding, and pieces of a red-orange rock that had clearly been ground down on purpose. When researchers analyzed the residue, it wasn't just leftover color, it was a mixture. Ground pigment combined with crushed bone and a liquid stirred together and sealed inside the shell like a container with a lid. Someone had figured out that fat from the bone helped the color stick instead of crumbling away. Someone had planned ahead far enough to make more than they needed in one sitting, and store the extra for whenever they'd need it next.
Dated to roughly 100,000 years old. It's currently the earliest known evidence of deliberate paint-making anywhere on the planet. And it wasn't a one-off accident. It was a process. Repeatable, intentional, and apparently worth doing more than once. Now here's where the timeline gets genuinely uncomfortable for how we usually picture human history. In a sea cave in southeastern Spain, researchers found shell containers holding pigment residue, dated to roughly 115,000 to 120,000 years old. Older than the South African find. And at that point in time, that part of Spain wasn't occupied by our species at all. It belonged to Neanderthals. If that dating holds, it means mixing pigment into paint wasn't something modern humans came up with on our own. It may go back to whatever ancestor we shared with Neanderthals, long before our two lineages ever split apart. Not every researcher is convinced this counts as symbolic behavior rather than something more practical, like treating animal hide. But the raw fact remains hard to explain away. Someone in a cold cave in Ice Age Europe, who wasn't even Homo sapiens, was already doing this. Picture the process itself, because it's more demanding than it sounds. You find a rock, red or yellow, and it does nothing on its own. You grind it, for a long time, against another stone, until it turns to fine dust. That dust still won't do anything useful. Rub it on skin or rock and it just falls away. You need something sticky to trap it in place. And your options are limited to whatever's on hand. Fat scraped from inside a bone. Blood, tree sap, maybe egg. You mix. You test. You probably fail more than once before you land on a combination that actually holds and doesn't crack as it dries. And sometimes, the color you actually wanted wasn't even nearby. Deep in a cave in southwestern France, the black pigment used to paint some of the most famous animal figures in prehistoric art turned out to be a specific type of manganese oxide. Researchers tracing its mineral signature found that the nearest known deposit sits roughly 250 kilometers away, in the Pyrenees. Someone made that trip, or was part of a trade chain that did, on foot, through Ice Age terrain, to bring back a particular black. Not the closest black. Not the easiest black. That one, specifically. By the time you reach the more famous cave art sites, tens of thousands of years after that first shell in South Africa, the process had turned into something close to a genuine craft. Painters had settled on a small palette, one mineral for red. another for yellow, and several versions of a black mineral, some of which needed to be heated first just to get the right shade. At Niaouz, a cave in the Pyrenees, researchers found that painters had started stretching their more precious pigments with a cheap filler mineral, padding out the expensive ingredient the same way you'd stretch anything valuable to make it last longer. This wasn't guesswork repeated blindly generation after generation. It was refinement. People were testing what worked, remembering it, improving it, and in some cases, carrying that improved knowledge across enormous distances to reach the people who needed it. So why bother with any of this? This is where the story stops being about chemistry and starts being about something much harder to prove. Nobody knows for certain. But there's a pattern too consistent to be a coincidence. The same red and black pigment shows up again and again. On personal ornaments, on shells worn as jewelry. In contexts that look less like practical tool use and more like something meant to be seen by other people. Some researchers studying these finds have floated an idea that's hard to shake once you hear it. That this may be one of the earliest forms of human communication that had nothing to do with speaking. A visual signal. Who you are. Which group you belong to. Status, identity, memory. All carried on skin, shell, or stone. Long before language could carry that same weight on its own. If that's even partly right. Paint wasn't decoration bolted onto human life after the important stuff was handled. It may have been one of the tools that let early humans, and possibly Neanderthals alongside them, start recognizing each other as more than just bodies moving through a landscape. Before the pyramid. Before the wheel. Before almost everything we consider the beginning of civilization. Someone was already working out how to say who they were. So remember that walk. 250 kilometers. On foot. Through Ice Age terrain, for one specific shade of black. Not the nearest black. Not the easiest black. That one, specifically. Not because they needed the color to survive. Because they needed it to be seen.